as we continue on our journey of discovery into what is faith, how to get faith, how to come closer to God and realize God's hand in the world, God's existence in the world, we need to start with a disclaimer. There's I forgot the name. It happens. There's something called the ink blot test, where psychologists, I go through this all the time, where psychologists, they have little blotches of ink and they show it to somebody, or the patient or the client, and judging on what he sees and judging on what he will say that he appears in front of him, they can understand his mindset, because in truth, he will see what he wants to see or what he's thinking about or what's on his mind. So this famous joke that this perverted, sick murderer is in the psychologist's office, and he shows him, the first ink blotch, and he's looking at it and he's like, yeah, I see murder and blood and knives and guns. He shows him the next one, he's like, I see perversion and disgusting things, and each one is something sicker and more disgusting. So after he finishes, the client says to the therapist, he's like, so, what do you think? How'd I do on my test? And the therapist says, what can I say, man? You're a sicko. You're a pervert. He's like, I'm a pervert. You're the guy who walks around with these pictures in your desk. What does that mean? People see what they want to see. You are limited. You are restricted. Your vision is very much blocked by what your heart desires. As the Torah says, Lo sasuru acharei labavchem va'acharei einechem. Don't stray after your heart and after your eyes, because your heart and your eyes are very much in tandem. They see what you want to see, what you desire to see. Not only that, but you cannot see what you don't want to see. You won't be able to see it. In order for a person to begin the journey, in order for a person to start off, you need to clear your mind. You need to have a free, unlimited perspective into what we're about to do. You can't be withheld. You can't be beholden. You can't be chained down to certain things that we want to see or that we don't want to see. In order to start, you need to take a step away before you take a step forward. If you're not willing to leave the confines of your desires or of your pre-existing beliefs or of your preconceived notions of what there is or isn't in the world, then you will never be able to take a step forward. In order to truly learn about faith and how to have faith, you need to be able to see beyond yourself. There was a great rabbi who passed away about 4 years ago. His name was Reb Nosson Tzvi Finkel. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of the biggest institution, the greatest yeshiva in the world, with thousands and thousands of students and thousands of alumni, called the Mir Yeshiva. He suffered from Parkinson's terribly. I remember watching him when he would give a discourse or a lecture, and he would literally be shaking so much that people had to go up to help him stand still. He would be sitting in his chair and he would be all over the place. And he got up on the last Rosh Hashanah of his life. And he said something to inspire the hundreds and thousands of people that were there. This is right before the shofar blowing, right before Tikiyah Shofar. And he had his 5-minute speech. And you have to remember that every word for him, every word was hard. Sometimes he would be able to speak, and sometimes it just didn't work. And he got up there, and he said, and this is the last powerful message of inspiration before the Rosh Hashanah, which is the decree, the final decree in the Jewish year of if Jews are going to live or die. And he said, do something for somebody else. Don't just think about yourself. Think about other people also. And then he sat down. Now, that wasn't just a message of brotherly love. And it wasn't just v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor like yourself. That wasn't his message. That was part of his message. But the other part of his message, the hidden part of his message was, see beyond yourself. Don't just live as a taker. Because if you're a taker, then you think that the world is coming to you. And you'll never be able to see beyond your wants, your desires, or your needs. Because if you live for yourself, then you look at the world as belonging to you. If you want to live as a good Jew, if you want to exist as somebody who believes in God and has a relationship and is connected to God, then you need to step outside yourself. Then you need to look beyond yourself. Don't just think of me. Think of the other person. Don't just be a taker, be a giver. What that message is an eternal message for our existence, which means look out of my Dalet Amos. Look out of my confines. See beyond. Think of somebody else so you don't just exist for yourself. Think of the world not just as my domain, not just as what is in the world for me, but what am I here for the world? What is wanted or expected from me, not just what do I expect from others. This was his message. If you want to begin the journey of faith, and you want to learn about Hashem, and you want to learn about God, and you want to come close to him, and you want to realize, where is he? What does he do? How do I bring him closer to my life? The first step you need to do is go out of yourself. Stop focusing on me. Don't be a taker, be a giver. Don't be somebody who looks at the world as a big party that is here to please me. But on the contrary, I will be here for a purpose, perhaps for the world. I am here to accomplish, not just to take. The world is a circle, the circle of life. And I have to find my place in that circle. And everything is going around and around in cycles. Where do I fit in? What can I add to it? What can I bring out of it? This is how we discover, this is how we come closer to Hashem. By first taking a step away from ourselves so we can take a step closer to Hashem.